All right, we are going to kick off our Hades run right now with I'm Doing It, and I'll let him introduce everybody on his couch. Take it away.
Hi, everybody. My name is Bill, and I am, in fact, doing it. Today, we are going to be running the three weapons category of Hades, in which we beat the game 3 times as fast as possible with 3 different weapons. Today, joining me on commentary, I have 2 amazing runners with me, as well as 2 of my great friends, Chenergy and High Five from Ryan. If you guys would like to introduce yourselves.
Of course. Oh, hellos, everyone. My name is Chenergy. It's like energy, but with the CH. And yeah, like Bill said, I'm also a Hades speedrunner and very glad to be here. And thanks for having me.
Hi everyone, my name is High Five from Ryan. I sling the high fives and bring the good vibes, and also a speedrunner, and just super happy to be here and commentating Bill's big run.
All right, awesome. So we're going to get right into the run. I'll give us a countdown when the timer begins. Timer will begin when we gain control of Zagreus. We got to get through this cutscene first.
Reason, boy. Your
All right.
curiosity exceeds your common sense. But heed my words.
All right,
While
well,
we're going through
there's a
this really
lot.
quick cutscene, I apologize. I have a couple donations to read.
Okay,
Yeah, go for
one
it.
moment. Timer is going to start in 3, 2, 1. Go for it, Tugboat.
Awesome, thank you. All right, we got a $45 donation from the one and only Verts505. He says, put it towards naming butts Rumpus. All caps. He wants Rumpus. All right, and we also got another $45 donation from Tyler Salt. Frog Crush Cancer. GG to Verts. Smiley face. All right, take it off, guys.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, I guess we should right off the bat say there is going to be some minor spoilers, as of course Bill is going to be doing it and completing the game, the game of Hades. So if you don't want to see the end or anything like that, then maybe just kind of like tune out for a little bit at the very end. But other than that, nothing too crazy here. We have Bill is starting with the aspect of Achilles, and it's my favorite weapon. It's just so fun to watch, very beautiful to watch, and it's also very versatile. Tanner, do you want to get into like why Achilles is could be such a strong weapon by either like just casting or just simply attacking?
Yeah, of course. So here we do have the Achilles spear. What makes it very quick out of a lot of the weapons of Zagreus' arsenal? We are playing as Zagreus. He's the son of Hades. Is so if you've ever played Hades before, you have a set of moves. You have your normal attack. You have your special. You have a cast, which is usually a little red projectile, but we've picked up boons throughout the run that upgrade our various weapons and attacks. So for example, we had the electric shot that Bill picked up that turned our little red cast into kind of a lightning yellow bolt. And like we mentioned earlier, the Achilles spear is very quick because the special attack of the spear is you throw out the spear and then you bring it back. But what's really good about it is for your next 4 attacks or casts that you use, the you get an extra 150% damage, which is a big number and will certainly help us blaze through all these rooms like Bill is doing.
Big numbers are
Yeah,
good, right?
absolutely. Big number is
Do
good
like big
and go
number.
faster. Also going to throw out too, as we are pretty early in the run, we're going to try to catch Bill as much as we possibly can. And speaking of catching, I'll be throwing down some donation money myself. And if for each one fish that Bill catches, I'm going to be donating $5. So chat, if you want to feel free to in joining this little donation incentive, you can just donate maybe like $1 or something, and put it towards other future things in this race, because I think that's really awesome. Fun way to get some donation trains and stuff like that going too. So again, donating money per fish caught is pretty fun, in my opinion, for these kind of marathons.
Or we can just cheer for every time I cost Ryan $5.
Also very true. Charity fish, absolutely. So yeah, we have our first boss. It's been this quick already. Yeah, been pretty dang quick, I would say. And we have the Fury sister fight. And for people playing Hades for the first time, it is Meg. It's just Meg. But now we've kind of unlocked these other sisters to fight as well, and that sounds a little bit more difficult. Chenergy, how come like we're fighting more things? Like, why wouldn't you think that higher difficulty bosses would be slower, not faster?
Right, that's a great question, Ryan. So we turn on the difficulty through this thing called the Pact of Punishment. It gets unlocked after you complete a run of Hades. Like Ryan mentioned, there's a lot of different options that you can turn on that make the game more difficult. But a particular reason why we turn this one on, I believe this one's called Extreme Measures. We turn it on up a notch to 2 levels, and for each level, you increase the difficulty of the boss in the area.
Oh no!
Oh no, I missed the
Not
fish.
the fish! That's $5.
All right, you all saw it. You all saw it.
It didn't happen?
Ryan lives today. But yeah, so we turn on Extreme Measures too because even though that makes the fight in Tartarus, which is the biome that we were just in, and then Asphodel is the name of this region, and it will make the boss that you'll see very soon a little more difficult. The reason why we do that is the layout of the second boss. There's going to be a lot of heads that spring up across the lava. The layout actually brings the head kind of clumped up in the center a lot more than what the usual layout is. So even though the fight becomes more dangerous, you typically take more damage throughout the run because the heads clump up. You end up saving a lot of time, which also saves up the time that gets added for the first boss when we fought Tisiphone.
Here comes a big roll. We're looking for
Ooh,
rush
so yeah,
delivery.
speaking of
There
rolls.
it is.
Wow,
Very
look
nice.
at
Purple
that.
rush delivery.
All right, so I guess that's a fun time to talk about rolling. I guess like when you do progress throughout the game, you do kind of like unlock different aspects and bonuses through the Mirror of Night. And when you do that, you have these different boons that can help like re-roll, whether like boon selections or maybe palm selections that you normally otherwise wouldn't be able to. And so that really helps, especially with Hermes. Hermes is especially very important because he gives you 2 different boons that us speedrunners like to get by going super fast. The first level 1 boon from Hermes is Hyper Sprint, which simply just makes you a little bit sturdy, so like you can't get like knocked out of an attack or something after a quick dash. And then also after that, the tier 2 boon that you can potentially get is called Rush Delivery, and that gives you a global damage boost with your right after doing like a speed bonus kind of thing that matches Zagreus' speed. So when you kind of mix Hyper Sprint by moving 100% faster after a sprint, his epic level rush delivery is giving him an extra bonus 100% damage globally. So that means his cast, his attacks, his dashes, everything, it just gets amped up like that much faster. So seeing that is really cool to see.
Big damage,
It
and we're
is
gonna
a
be
big
doing
damage
big damage
boost.
to Mr. Lerny here. So, like I was mentioning earlier, this is the Extreme Measures version of Learning. So, if you're playing Hades for the first time, it's probably not gonna look like this. There's a lot of lava here, but Bill has a really nice build here going on. Like Ryan mentioned, he has the rush delivery, so he essentially has 100% extra damage every time after he dashes. Something we kind of glossed over in the previous chamber is Bill also picked up a really good boon that we'll see in this run and probably another run.
We will see it in all of them.
Right. Oh, that's right. You use Tidal Dash and everything. Yeah. So.
Yep.
Tidal Dash is the dash that you get from Poseidon, and for whatever reason, they just made it do so much damage. It's really good. It has high base damage. It provides knockback, so if you knock enemies into walls, it provides even more damage. It's just probably the best dash in the game by far.
Ah! I lost in the
definitely.
menus.
It does definitely have incredibly high base damage, but not only that, what makes Tidal Dash so good is that you could potentially just knock enemies into walls and stun them out of attacks, and when you do knock enemies into walls, you're doing extra damage as well. So it provides attack and it provides protect, but mostly it goes sploosh, and we like that.
Mostly a ghost sploosh. I like that.
Like that.
So
Yeah, we're-
yeah, we can, I guess, talk a little bit about the challenge levels or like challenge ratings of like monsters and like why some rooms might go slower than others because ooh, we got the
Poggers.
Wow, all right, we just need an attack now.
We do need an
all right,
attack.
Let's talk about-
let's talk about Flurry Jab instead. Like why I guess us in the speedrun community love Flurry Jab, getting Flurry Jab on Achilles early, but why I guess is that so important to Energy? What does Flurry Jab really do for us here?
Yeah, so something that you learn very quickly when you get into kitty speedrunning is you want to use a lot of dash attacks. So a lot of the weapons in the game have like different combos, different movesets, but something that's relatively consistent across all the weapons is just use your dash attack. The dash attack is very quick, it's very low cooldown, there's not a lot of lag, you get to kind of move around the chambers freely with that as well. But something very unique with the Achilles Spear is there is a hammer. The hammers basically change the properties of certain moves. So in the case of Flurry Jab, Bill is essentially able to hold down the attack button, and rather than do the standard like 3-hit combo of the spear, it just does one small jab very quickly, which ends up making the run very fast. So it's kind of a make or break fast run for the Achilles Spear. Like essentially, if you want a top time with the Achilles Spear, you have to get the Flurry Jab. So getting it in a live run without reset is huge. We have a really good and really nice build from Bill. Whoops, I got my name's a little confused.
The Bill builds.
The Bill build, yeah, not scuffed here at all. Like very good run, very clean run so far. I mean, you've already got through the Bowl of Minnows, and it's not even 6 minutes in-game timer yet, and you're just schmoving along, my friend.
We are schmoving, and we get the epic Zeus attack.
Wow. So that was also a nice gutsy pickup too from Bill, choosing to take a Trial of the Gods room, and generally a Trial of the Gods room is where it's great. You get to have 2 boons from one room, so what's not to love about that? For speedrunning purposes, it is a little bit tricky though, because these rooms sometimes can spawn more enemies, sometimes they can be a little bit more tricky, so it is kind of a gamble, but the gamble definitely paid off for Bill because, oh wow, we're getting
This is a 33 patty.
Wow, just wonderful stuff here. But yeah, Bill really needed that that Zeus, either like just a really good attack boon, and Zeus really pulling through by giving him epic attack. So you're gonna see like even faster clears now, as the Flurry Jab is just gonna like just get amplified like so fast, because Zeus's attack is an on-hit effect, and Flurry Jab just makes you attack super fast. So when you're combining all of these different things in one build, we're talking about the rush delivery damage amplification earlier, on top of what we didn't even talk about is the Hades keepsake, how that amplifies the rush delivery as well. That just makes Bill's Bill just go incredibly, like just throws it off the edge in terms of damage output. So you're gonna see him melt the heroes here.
Come forth and die.
Atheist, be gone!
Already half health.
Mention right now, it's a little bit of a spoilers, but you are noticing in a lot of the kind of boss or mini boss rooms that Bill is entering, a lot of times he calls for Megara, which is usually a boss, but as you play through the game, you kind of unlock an extra ability called a summon, where you can summon friends that you met along the way to kind of help you out. You get a limited use of them, and Megara is considered the kind of the best summon across the board. She's just very consistent, does a lot of damage, and you get about 5 uses per run, and they're used very meticulously throughout the run. Mostly in the boss chambers, because you really get to utilize like all the damage that Megara provides. But yeah, sometimes a lot of these setups can be tricky, but thanks to the great Hades community, we've gotten a lot of more setups now than we did even just like a couple months ago, which you'll probably see throughout the run. But yeah, so if you ever see purple dots and rays of purple death landing upon our foes. That is the summon from Megara helping us out.
Yeah, and speaking of helping us out, Bill, of course, being a true gentleman and a scholar, by throwing some love out to the little shade out there after beating the heroes fight. So you always got to support the friends that are supporting you, right?
Of course, we gotta always stop and say hi to the supportive shade.
Absolutely. So here in 6, the very last biome, there are 5 tunnels, and 2 of them are mini boss tunnels. And so, why would fish? Oh, no, that's another fish.
We'll get it. We'll get it. It'll be back. I'm schmoving.
Bill has officially just turned his fish brain off and just go brain on, because like he's like really attempting for like a high score in the leaderboard right now. But that's all right. So we're talking back again about taking the mini boss rooms first. Chenergy, why are we taking mini boss rooms over like the regular rooms? Like it looked like there was a Zeus and stuff on the wall. Like, would we want an extra Zeus or maybe an extra boon on the chamber?
Right. So ideally, so this is the Temple of 6 is the 4th biome of the game.
Oh, no.
Oh, the tiny vermin.
All the homies love
Bill's
tiny
great, Bill,
vermin.
It's alright.
F's in the chat for tiny vermin.
The tiny vermin is a random mini boss that you might see when you go across the different chambers. It's completely random, just like a lot of the things in Hades. But Bill has a pretty good build, so he kind of ran through that relatively quickly. But back to Ryan's point about why you would want to take the mini boss rooms as compared to the normal chambers is at the end of each hallway, you either play through a mini boss room, which is indicated by the skulls, or you play through a normal chamber that features 2 to 3 waves of extra enemies, and extra waves take extra spawning time, and typically those chambers are a lot bigger than the mini boss rooms, where you typically only face 1 big enemy and maybe 1 smaller enemy if you don't clear it quick enough. But yeah, so throughout the whole run, you'll notice even in the earlier biomes such as Tartarus, Asphodel, and Elysium, the mini boss rooms are always faster than the normal rooms. And Bill's getting quite unlucky here, so the goal of how you clear through the Temple of 6 is Survey, otherwise known as Cerberus, the 3 big-headed dog. He kind of looks like Clifford, but with 3 heads.
Clifford the 3-headed dog.
Maybe this way.
Yeah, I'm. You know, it's been a while since I read the book. I think it's about the same story. But yeah, Survey is looking for a Satyr sack, and it's in one of these 5 chambers, the chamber hallways. And you're guaranteed not to find a Satyr sack in the first hallway you take. But after that, it's a random chance whether you find it in the 2nd or all the way up until the 5th hallway. And 50, do you have like about a 50% chance to find it in the 2nd
It's
or 3rd
like
hallway?
52-ish on both mini bosses, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But Bill,
something like that.
it's just karma catching up to Bill, because he missed 2 fish, therefore added 2, to the RNG of the Satyr sack. So it's not bad luck at all. It's just karma coming back, and the fish lords and Poseidon kind of frowning upon Bill right now. But it's okay. We are entering the dead fight after getting 4 sacked with pretty good time here.
You'll go.
Where are we at? Like, this is
Come
17 minutes already into the dead fight. Oh yeah, we are just moving along.
You're wasting Mega Man.
Yeah, if you're getting into Hades speedrunning and you're looking for a good RTA or real-time attack time, I'd say 20 minutes is generally the average. So anything below that, I'd say, is pretty good. So I expect nothing less from a great runner like Bill here, right? Right, Bill?
Oh yeah.
The cream of the crop? That's right.
Nothing but the best speedruns here.
It's just quality gameplay, baby.
Right. You can see Bill is just absolutely melting through Hades. So something interesting to note about Hades, we'll run into him a couple times, but Hades does have 2 phases. Generally, the 2nd phase is no big deal. but the first phase does pose a couple of problems for us speedrunners. So if you play through the game at all, you will notice sometimes Hades disappears for a couple seconds. He says something like darkness, and then he fades into the abyss, never to be seen again. Well, I mean, he regrets fading into the abyss and comes back in like 5 seconds. But during that time, Zagreus is unable to damage Hades at all, and it's completely random if he does that move. So usually every time you face him in the first phase, he does about 1 or 2 darknesses, which ends up losing you, you know, like 5 or 10 seconds. So a really great run has none of them, but it's really hard to manipulate. There's really no consistent way to deal with it. There is one way which you can use the Hades call, which Bill did have equipped. It makes you use Hades' own move against him, and it basically triggers a event where Hades will repeat the last move that he did, and he'll do it twice, which gives you some wiggle room to manipulate it. But yeah, it's pretty random, as with a lot of the games.
Absolutely.
Mind if I butt in super quick here while we just finish slapping around Dad for a couple donations?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. I got 2 donations here. First one is from DSC $20, simply saying, Bill is my hero.
Oh, thank you, DS.
I got another $10 donation as well from Nekomeda. He says, I'm here to I'm here to cheer on Bill, who has brought me so much joy this past year as me and my pup Togi brave the world. Thank you, Bill, and thank you so much to his lovely commentators.
Thank you so much, Enko. Thanks for the
You're welcome,
donations,
Enko.
guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, keep them coming. You know, like we're like we got a lot of really cool like incentives and stuff coming up. We're already like, what, not even $90 away from getting the next incentive. So keep them coming. Like we give you guys plenty of time.
Totally. I really just want to point out too that so far people have shown 0 love to Halo 4. So unless you want to see Halo 4, people have got to pipe up here.
Ooh, that's a good shout there.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. We do have the next aspect. We have the bow, and bow is super fun too. We're talking of like how Achilles and how flexible the weapon as a whole, the spear can be, but the aspect Achilles as well. The bow is a little bit different. You can make different aspects of the bow more like attack based, or we're seeing this build here is a little bit different. It's more hyper focused on how to use your casts and everything. So Bill really flexing his versatility muscles here and playing a kind of like a overall what Swiss Army knife build into mostly like a cast focused build. So Chen, wanna like kind of like go into like what a cast build entails and like why it's so different from like your typical I don't know, like a sword like attack based kind of thing. Wow.
Yeah, sure. Oh, Taito Dash. Oh, come on.
We've
show
got
us
it. There's
Taito
the
Dash.
splash
There it
dash.
is, there it is.
Let's go.
Into
Oh, and we
Sisyphus.
get to see Boldy.
Hype.
Boldy's my favorite.
Gotta gift the boy.
Change my mind. Change my mind. Oh, Boldy. Speaking the wise words to us. Fun fact, we actually learned all our speedrunning tactics from Boldy. True story. Anyways, but yeah, as Boldy once told me, a cast build is very, very different from the normal build that you'll find in the game. So we have 2 main weapons that are cast-oriented. We see the Hero Bow here, and the other one, which we won't be seeing today, is the Beowulf Shield, but they are both cast-oriented weapons, and what makes them very unique is, like I mentioned earlier, Zagreus has a cast attack, which is normally a little small red projectile. It can change depending on the boons you get. For example, here we have the Aphrodite version of the cast, which changes it to the kind of a pink cone. It's kind of more short-ended. It's not as ranged, but it does a lot of damage kind of close up. But what makes cast builds unique is, rather than shooting them out as separate projectiles by themselves, the cast bow, it loads the cast into Zagreus' attack. So you can see on the bottom left of your screen, Bill has a total of 3 casts, and that number will often go up and down depending on how how much he's loading. You can kind of see little icon indicators there throughout, but basically what makes the Hera build really fast and really strong is Bill is able to load up all 3 casts on his attack at once, and just really front load all the damage.
Yeah, absolutely. Quick shout out to Riz13, big support for him in the Hades speedrun community, and showing some love to the stream here. So yeah, just want to shout him out. He's been around for a very long time and helping people just like Bill and myself, really learn the ropes of the game and helping many others. And that's why I really love this community. There's so many welcoming and supportive people. And then there's Rist, who is also he's also very supportive. I love the guy. So we have another fast build here coming out from I'mDoinIt Bill, and so it's a little bit different. We're choosing to have Aphrodite's cast, and Aphrodite's cast is really strong because of it just helps ramp up the base damage of the cast. The other abilities of Aphrodite are kind of whatever, but she really does help unlock a lot of very key duo boons, and so it can go from Sweet Nectar, which can really make things really easy for palming, extra attacks or extra casts and everything like that, into potentially a Heart Rend kind of build to have more crit damage being done as well. So Aphrodite really kind of the core central part of the build, but yeah,
Right.
Hoping to have the same Hermes luck in this one.
And for people who aren't aware what a duo boon is, all throughout the run, we get these different boons, power-ups from the gods. There are unique boons called duo boons, which if you complete a prerequisite, so let's say you have a boon from Aphrodite, or and you have a particular boon from Artemis, which I don't think we've seen in this run quite yet. Then you complete the prerequisite for seeing a duo boon called Heart Rend, which basically combines the powers of Artemis and Aphrodite to give you even more power. And a lot of the builds that typically go very fast center themselves around one particular duo boon. And the Hera bow specifically actually benefits from more than a couple, I believe, because there's the Heart Rend duo boon that you want to get from Artemis and Aphrodite, but there's also the duo boon called Mirage Shot that you want from Poseidon and Artemis, which provides basically a secondary cast for each cast that you shoot out, which makes it very strong. But if you're overwhelmed by all these weapons,
I got it.
I hope
All right.
it disgusting.
We didn't miss
Actually,
this
don't
one, I
think that's
promise.
here. Slavog.
Big Slavog energy.
Slavog.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. We got the
He's
Slavog.
so cute.
Do we have a donation while we get into the mini boss here?
Yes, we actually got one donation, actually. We got a $10 donation from Rin Kaneko saying, "Thank you for your intro. I was surprised to hear you're doing it on stream, Bill, but I'm glad I came to watch. Ooh woo."
Thanks, Rin.
Big ooh energy here.
Total ooh woo energy.
Man,
So,
the murder boat
Hades
is
is a-
never late.
Oh yeah, we have the murder boat. Hades is quite the game. It is a lot of fun to speedrun because of how many different ways of execution and muscle memory and just the movement patterns and how smooth this game can be. The one thing that is a little bit difficult is kind of just the nature of RNG. So Bill is doing a unmodded version of Hades, and so we are currently in the stage of Hades by exploring mods and how much RNG it can truly control. So for one example, the barge or murder boat, whatever you want to call it, is random. It's not even coded as a mini boss, which is actually pretty funny. It's just kind of there as a mini boss room, and so sometimes that'll take away time for got the murder.
There's our Mirage shot. Let's go.
Perfect. So it is kind of like unfortunate, but again, like Bill is just super good at this game, and he's just going to, you know, move on past the little auto scroller, if you will, and just get right back into learning. But this time with the Haribo.
If rush delivery is the speedrunner's dream, the murder boat is the bane of the speedrunner.
That is absolutely true.
That is definitely a fair take. But yeah, as we get along through these runs, something that I did kind of want to bring attention to is something that I really enjoy about the just a Hades game overall. But there's a lot of weapons in the game. So if you haven't played Hades before, there's 6 weapons that you get to choose from. There's the sword, the spear, the bow, the railgun, the shield, and the fist. And then within each of those weapons, there's 4 different aspects of each. So there's a huge variety of weapons, and there's a lot of people that run, you know, really fast weapons, you know, like the bow or the railgun that we'll see in the run coming up after this. But really, just about any weapon can go really fast. There's some really obscure weapons out there. I'm personally a big advocate of the Guan Yu spear, which it's maybe a little niche, but yeah, just about any weapon can go really fast. So there's really something for everyone. If anyone's interested, yeah, please join the Hades Discord community. Everyone's super nice, super helpful. We do VOD reviews on our own free time. They're completely free. There's a lot of tips, resources out there. Yeah, I've had nothing but positive experiences in the community, and I think it's also a very easy game to kind of get into because there's different categories. Ones where you can even pause in the game, so you don't even have to go super fast all the time, just like Bill. But yeah, if anyone is interested, I would highly recommend it. Because I think this is our first speedrunning game ever as well.
Oh, that is correct for me. This is my first speedrun game ever, and speaking on different categories and things like that, I helped with something called Bingo, and it's where shout out to Guy Shanes. Guy Shanes, you're hopefully watching out there, but awesome Swedish dude, also fellow speedrunner of Hades. But he got the ball rolling on what a bingo is, and basically, if anyone in chat, if anyone's familiar with what bingo is, it's just like a 25 card, right? And him and I put together a bunch of different objectives that anybody can clear casually. So like you don't need to be super fast, you know, world record speedrunny, you know, person. You can just complete the game naturally, like by either just catching fish or like beating Lerny or like collecting like, you know, different selective boons or whatever. And it can help. You know, if you don't feel like speedrunning it, then we also give you the tools to just kind of like, here, play some very off-meta, kind of goofy picks sometimes, and just go with that. And maybe that might open a door for speedrunning in the future or something for you or your friends or whatever. But it's still a really fun time for anybody to get their feet wet when it comes to like, you know, hey, want to feel like a little race, little, you know, extra something different, I guess, to play Hades. So yeah, Hades community is always thinking of something fun and different to do to keep things nice and fresh.
Yeah, bingo is a lot of fun. But what's also a lot of fun is having good, strong builds. So Bill just picked up Heartren in the last chamber. So he has now both Mirage Shot and Heartren, both of the duo boons that Ryan and I were mentioning earlier. And as well as an extra cast that he picked up from Chaos. So Chaos, if you don't know, that's the little purple god. You kind of jump into a hole, and as all manholes in real life, if you jump down there, you are gracefully met by a god, and you pick up a nice power-up. And how Chaos boons work is, for the next couple of chambers, you get what's the opposite of benefit? Unbenefit?
You get a chaos curse.
That's a better word.
Yeah, you get the curse.
But yeah, you pick up a curse for the next couple of chambers that you have to live through. But afterwards, you get a blessing, and in the case of the one Bill picked up, he was able to grab an extra cast, and that's usually huge for cast-oriented builds like the Haribo, because all your damage is basically funneled into the cast, so picking up an extra cast, whether it's through the chaos or through items that you can purchase from various wells throughout the run, is huge, because it's every single one you pick up is essentially 100% extra damage, because you get a whole nother cast.
Yeah, I think it when it comes to like any cast build, I think even if you did have cast damage, which Bill just got there, which is really nice. Even if it was cast damage, I think I would take cast stones over the cast damage, because it's just a whole like another instance of damage. So I think it's like super important, and Bill got it. So yeah, you're seeing right now like some really nice back-to-back runs. Maybe a little bit less rune luck. So there's the thing, right, between in speedrunning you have like rune luck, which is basically, oh nice, I found like the boons that I wanted super early without having to like work for it super hard, and also the rarity of the boons. And then there's also room luck, which is like not getting maybe vermin, or like not getting barge, or getting fountain rooms, which are really nice, or having like story rooms line up really nicely with mid shops and everything. So but those are like for other things. Just
We haven't
as
even seen a fountain room, huh? Have we?
We have not
Yeah,
seen a
it's-
fountain room as of yet.
typical marathon things, but it's okay.
But yeah, so like we mentioned earlier, free rooms like the fountain rooms, they basically replace a standard room with a cute little fountain where Zagreus has to recover some health and you get the reward for free. So those happen completely random, but they are very helpful when it comes to doing the run, because you basically end up skipping the room. And we haven't touched on this yet, but the way Hades' progression works is, so we have the 4 biomes. We have Tartarus, we have Asphodel, which is the lava area, Elysium, which we just got out of, and the Temple of Styx, which is the biome we're currently in. But the way Hades splits it up is, Tartarus is 12 chambers long. The last room of enemies is always going to be in chamber 12. That will be followed by a free reward, which is either a shop or something like a pomegranate of power, or maybe a heart, and then that will be followed by the boss room. Similarly, Asphodel ends on chamber 22, and then Elysium ends on chamber 34. So with that all in mind, a lot of times what's really nice is if you can pick up a fountain room, or maybe a mid shop, something where you don't have to play through enemies towards the end of a biome, that is nice. So for example, if you are able to play like a mini boss room in chamber 11 of Tartarus rather than chamber 4 of Tartarus, that would end up saving time, because typically as you go across the game, the game tries to spawn more enemies and more threats. Bill said we're playing Hades today, not Animal Crossing. Neglecting all the fish.
Also, what other fun games are there? The Sonic. There's like Sonic games that you get to collect a bunch of animals and stuff as well. So I guess we're not saving the animals at all, or maybe we are. Maybe we are.
We are saving the animals. We're allowing them to stay in their natural habitat today.
But Bill's build is insane. Like
Whether
you grow,
intentionally or on accident.
Yeah, that would be the third one, but it's okay. But Bill's build is insane. Probably like heard me just go, because he initiated the one-shot mode essentially, which just one-shots everything. You're gonna see his build really like insta-phase dad right here. And oh look, do you see a fish there?
Surface
Do you see a
fish. Can never miss the surface
the trout
fish.
fish, right? That's right, Panzer. Bill Gober, indeed. I believe it was shout out to Crystal May in Twitch chat saying like, wow, you must go through a lot of capes, huh? And funny enough, near the end of the game, if you complete the game, you get to see Dad's wardrobe, and I don't think you'd be hard pressed to find a bunch of capes there. So I think the game and the devs are very self-aware of what's going on, and pretty well done. Oh, I'm sorry. Did we already phase 2 into that? Yeah, we did. So quite a bit of damage. As you can see, like the staunch differences between, like, I guess like the Achilles spear build and the Hera bow build. It might feel a little bit slower to some people, but when you really stick to an aspect and like kind of like a playstyle, you can make things go by super fast.
All right.
And this was what, just less than 20 minutes for the Hera bow too. So, I mean, Bill's on solid pace, especially
Wait,
on the last weapon.
The fish,
Yeah.
the fish, the fish.
Thank you.
Now, phew, that
I
was-
got
that
I
was
got
close.
so tied up in my controller rebind that I forgot about the fish.
Hmm. Wow, updated and everything. Is Serby around? Do we want to give him some pets?
Of course we want to pet the dog.
Cogbot, you wanna jump in here with like anything, any updates, anything like that?
No, we're just cruising right along right now. We're rocking and rolling, riding that good vibe.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
But in my opinion, you should probably pet Cerberus, yes.
Oh, we're absolutely petting the dog if he's here.
I also just want to say, as a person that just plays Hades casually, this is absolutely mind-boggling. Like, this is so fun to watch, just to slap around dad and have people just drop left and right.
Serby's a good dog, and I forgot to pet him before the last run, so we're gonna give him an extra pet here.
Oh yeah, more pets, more
I
pets.
wish you could pet the other head stuff.
Oh, that left
Oh.
head is a little aggressive, and the guy in the middle's taking a nap, so like we don't want to disturb him.
Yeah, right. As they say, let sleeping doggos lie. And yeah, Tugboat, if you're ever interested in like learning how to do any of this, you could do this too, honestly.
Oh man, I don't even know.
For real, like this I've started speedrunning this game maybe about 2.5 months ago, starting it, and very close to a world record with Guan Yu. So I mean, like if I can do this at my age and everything, then I guarantee that you can do fast times and stuff like this. And anyone else in chat, if you're interested, check it out. Like Chenergy said, there's plenty of people in the community, myself, Chenergy included, and so many more that are more than happy to teach you the game and how to go fast, and just be part of, like, you know, community runs that we do like every weekend, and then also any other community events that we're all holding together. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally. I need to
80s
kind of pick up
speedrunning?
my time a little bit to get to that like 10-minute mark you were saying. I should probably get under like half an hour first.
Oh,
Hades
you could do it, you could do
speedrunning
it.
is very much playing the game as it's intended, just very aggressively and disrespecting everything in the room.
It's a good way to put that.
He
Once you
is
deal that
doing
much
it.
damage.
But you two could be doing it as well.
That's right.
No,
sir.
I'm doing it. Nobody else can have that.
That's right,
no,
right.
okay,
They're just
okay.
slide that right in there.
Never.
Ooh, rocket bombs.
Oh,
Let's
rocket
go.
bomb.
Wow, all right.
Bill,
So
what are you sure you're not cheating here? You have some pretty good builds here.
I don't know.
Bill
I had
putting on a show.
2 palms into crush shot on the last run until like sticks, where I bought palms with sweet nectar.
Oh my god. So, yeah, the last leg of the race here is going to be the Eris rail, which, you know, Shooty McShootface, but the rail is, I would say, unanimously like the anchor, so to speak. Oh wow, and we get fountain room too. That's
Oh,
good.
there's the
fast.
fountain.
But yeah, so the anchor, if you're familiar with like any sort of like relay races or anything like that, it's just like you're all reliable, can hold it down. Eris Rail doesn't really need a whole lot to make it really good. You're able to force Zeus as your first god by taking his keepsake. So we talked a little bit about it earlier with how Achilles, like having the attack and the on attack procs from Zeus's attack is really, really good. It's also especially good. Oh, you
Oh, there's a fish down there. I didn't even know a fish
Also-
could spawn down there.
Oh yeah, anything with the blood well, anything there can spawn fish. But yeah,
For shame.
any sort of like on attack hit, so anything that attacks super fast, Zeus is kind of the go-to. So if you like fists, you can make a fun attack build with fists as well. But it's really, really good with Eris. Clears rooms very fast, and also getting extra hammer luck can also just do nothing but make you go extra fast. So Bill getting Rocket Bomb, turning his giant AoE into a smaller slug missile, just to do even more damage.
It's our
and then
first
Than.
Than?
Thanatos.
Shoutouts to Panzer Dave, because we get our Than. We had people in chat that were wanting to see our homeboy God of Death himself, Than. But
Yeah, Thanatos is pretty interesting. So we can talk about maybe the relevance of Thanatos in a couple of the different categories in Hades. So right here we're watching 3 weapons, which is timed in RTA, real-time attack. So the timer we go off of is the timer that you and I age by, the real life timer. It doesn't stop for anyone. But another very popular category, probably the most popular category in Hades, is called Any Heat, which means you can turn on any of the passive punishment levels, like how I mentioned earlier with the extreme measures. For every level you turn on, that is 1 or 2 heat, depending on what you turn on. But Any Heat is a in-game time category. So if you notice on the top right of Bill's screen, right now it says 219. Something very interesting about how Hades handles the timer inside the game is you'll notice right now it is paused. So in Any Heat we go off of the in-game timer, and there's a lot of things that the game makes it so that the timer pauses. So during menu selection, when you're picking boons, when you even just have the menu pause, the in-game timer pauses, whereas if you're doing a 3 weapons run like what we're doing here, so the timer works very differently. And something that we can relate to that in terms of Thanatos is Thanatos you love to see in any heat category runs, because Thanatos actually pauses the in-game timer. So you basically go through the whole chamber without really playing it, even though you're fighting enemies throughout. But in RTA and 3 weapons run, you really hate to see Thanatos, because Thanatos makes the room very long, because there's a lot of different waves of enemies that you have to go through, and whenever you see Thanatos, it's guaranteed to be like a 1 minute long chamber. So I think that's something that's very interesting, that makes the RTA and the IGT in-game time runs very different. So depending on who you ask, some people might really like Thanatos or might really hate him.
Don't worry, I see that fish. We're hugging this fish. We can't miss him.
we're hugging.
That's what you said about the surface fish, and we almost missed that one.
I know, but I had to do
You got 'em.
controller rebinds, and I did get it. I mean, you guys yelled at me a little bit, but I got it.
Got it.
See, look, we're
That
gonna get
is
this guy.
blue swoosh. So that is...
That's another
Much
slot
lava.
bug.
That's what, 5 fish in total?
Steady now.
Fish. Do y'all have a favorite fish? I like the scuffer.
The scuffer is the fish of my stream.
I like the Skelecyon because it's so edgy. It reminds me of like my old angsty emo screamo days. The what else? There's a lot of fish.
Don't do that.
6 fish is fun. Thanks, Spencer. See, I can always count on Twitch chat to keep up on what we're doing here.
Ooh, into a Yuri.
What room lock do we have going on right now?
This is a 22 Eurydice.
Wow.
Very
Really
nice.
moving here.
Why not have a
Move.
freshly made?
That's interesting. So yeah, Eurydice is really great. She is our broccoli queen. She's our broccoli girlfriend. And she makes the run very, very interesting because for one, obviously, it just makes it go super fast. There's no encounter there. She just progresses the chamber forward. Also on top of that, she gives you so many really cool different options in how you're handling your run. She just does nothing more than just simply enhance your run. You can get 4 free upgrades on 4 random boons of your build. She can increase the rarity of 2 random builds, or for 3 encounters, she can help find increased rarity for the next 3 boons that you have, or that you find. So not 3 encounters, sorry. The next 3 boons
next
that you
3
find
boons,
will have higher rarity. So that could even count for things like legendary boons and dual boons. So if you're hunting around for like really key pieces of dual boons and stuff like that, then our Broccoli Queen can really help you out there. But she can also just give you straight up extra damage. So she's great.
She is wonderful.
Good, no more heads.
Yeah, we are close. It looks like we're getting really close here. Is Tugboat still in here?
Yep.
This is a good time for donation too.
Should I take the trade?
Zoom and we
Should be useful.
well
Onward.
we just zoom actually.
That's alright. So wait, yeah, we have Chaos. Chaos Gates 2. Chaos Gates are also pretty important for going very fast as well in Hades in general. As I was just saying about Eurydice and like any room will progress the chamber by 1. This does include Chaos as well. So instead of having to go through a whole entire room, you can just simply take the Chaos and kind of hope to get lucky in that that it gives you like a decent kind of reward for the curse that you're going to be given. You never want to see having to face extra foes because extra foes just makes you go slower. So we try to like avoid that. But yeah, I mean, so far really nice build that Bill has going on here. Is he gonna fight Chaos? No. Or,
Am I gonna fight
Chiron?
Chiron? No.
No fighting Chiron.
No.
Not in the
with
marathons.
Forced overtime too. I would not like that. But
FO2
yeah,
Charon is terrifying.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
come on,
what
Bill, you can
if
do
for
it.
people who don't know what FO2 is, that stands for Forced Overtime 2. Like I mentioned a little earlier with the Factor Punishment, that is another level of heat that we like to turn on for speedruns. There's
Oh
FO1,
my
there's-
god!
My God!
Cluster
Wow.
rockets!
I don't even remember the last time I got cluster rockets.
The last time I got cluster
Alright.
rockets was my last marathon.
Oh my goodness.
All right, chat. You
Marathon
are.
luck.
Yeah, chat is witnessing the goods, as they say.
Yeah,
I
these are
mean,
all like the optimal builds that you would want to see on each weapon.
literally each weapon had a full build and a half. I mean, he had Flurry Jab with Epic Attack Zeus on the Achilles. He had Mirage Shot on top of Heartrend as well on the Hera bow, and now he's just getting like literally everything, like cluster rockets here on Eris.
Don't tell me this is
into,
a
like,
34 patty.
My goodness.
It's a 33 patty.
33. But what if you get into Fountain? Sweet lord.
Ooh, 33 patty into Fountain. Here it is,
Blast,
chat.
Fountain.
Here it is.
Here it is.
Activate. Fountain room activate.
Fountain room. Oh,
Oh.
no.
It's kind of a weird looking
Naked
fountain.
swordsman.
Yeah. So, I think we briefly touched on it. Like challenge rating in rooms and stuff here. Why unarmored enemies in very late chambers is kind of bad. Because like each enemy like has kind of like a set like challenge rating, and the lesser their challenge rating, the more of them will spawn. So like we want to hope to see like enemies that do have armor, because they do add to that challenge rating. So unfortunately, if you do see those late biomes there, then
What else?
it could be kind of rough. But let's see what Bill can
Alright.
get here. Breaking waves,
Like the
great
breaking
to be
wave.
clearing sticks.
Tempo of sticks with, yeah. And then to bring it back to why you don't want to see multiple waves of enemies, like I mentioned earlier, we do have the active punishment option, which is called Forced Overtime. And for the first level FO1, enemies have an increased attack rate of 20%. And while that sounds worse, something that makes it well worth it is, if you notice all throughout the run when we see waves of enemies spawn, there's a little circle that kind of forms as they come up. That animation actually gets sped up along with the increased attack speed of enemies. So most weapons like to run at least FO1 for the 20% increased speed, but some weapons can't keep up with the speed of the enemies as well. But on a weapon that's very consistent.
Fish.
Vichy.
Scuffer. I
we're
want to
getting
see the
pretty
Scuffer.
decent number of fish in this run, huh?
Scuffer, Scuffer, Scuffer. Guff! Show me the
This run is
Scuffer.
anything
It's
but
a Stonewall.
Stonewall.
Perfect catch. Let's
Oh,
go.
perfect
Perfect catch. Perfect catch for
I
a
would
perfect
argue
run
the
here.
perfect catch is a Scuffer. But
I mean, look
that's
at
my
this. I mean, we're currently sub hour. We're entering the first chamber at 53 minutes RTA. In-game timer is at 6:30. This is an insane run, honestly.
That's quite a nice
Now
one.
the real question is, do we go full 2-sack mentality and look for Orange Boon? There is a Zeus on the wall.
Not now.
There is a Zeus on the wall.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
mean, we can
play
explain
it
the,
safe.
but yeah, I guess we can touch on what the quote-unquote 2-sack mentality is. So, like we mentioned earlier, you can find the Satyr sack as early as the second wave.
We're doing it. 2-sack mentality,
so
boys.
Let's go.
Sometimes we do this. So even though there is another mini boss hallway, if we think we're lucky, which Bill certainly believes that he is today with all the good luck, if you find the Satyr sack at the end of the hallway, you actually skip the last chamber that you would have had to play otherwise. So if he does find the Satyr sack, he doesn't have to play through the really long normal chamber that you would normally go through. So what we mean when we say 2-sack mentality
Oh, we're getting punished.
is we're lucky, but Bill has indeed been punished. He's not doing it at all. Well, the only thing he's doing is a
He's
normal
just doing more
chamber.
chambers.
It's okay. Showing Twitch chat more of the great gameplay of Hades, right?
Absolutely.
Thanks,
We're
Bill. We're
Hades
really
Maker,
looking
right?
out for the people.
Here it is. Orange Boon good. Called it.
Oh,
Let's
dude,
go.
Insane. Oh my god.
All planned. It's all RNG manipulation, right? Right, Bill?
Absolutely.
It has to be.
Amir has looked down on us and said we will give him the good boons.
Can't.
Is it just Bill giving a complete show right now? I mean, like he's taken every single full complete build that you would hope and dream for every weapon, and just throws it over Mount Olympus. Honestly, these have been a lot of fun to watch, and definitely a treat, even for me. Because like you're thinking even for like marathon luck, you're trying to at least like get like a complete build together. But man, Bill has like it all. So this is a lot of fun to watch. And you're doing amazing on time too, by the way.
Yeah, this is a really good
What
time.
I need.
We're
Entering
looking for
the last
special
bad
speed.
fight.
No such luck.
That's alright. I love what the devs do here for Serby as well.
See you, boy.
That you never hurt the dog, never. Only Heracles, that jerk, does anything to Cerberus. So we only give him snacks and pets.
I'm back, father.
Oh, no
I
service
told-
fish.
I
You're
really
there,
thought we
but
had to
yes,
fight him.
snacks.
I wonder
Serby
who's
snacks.
going to kill who.
Tugboat. I think we just hit a goal.
Did we?
have to
Yes,
about
I
that.
kind of saw that while we were kind of dipped on the other side there. Let me start by saying we just hit our $1,500 goal.
Let's go.
Congratulations and good
Alright.
job, everybody. And with that, I will read a couple donations actually while we're slapping around Dad.
Absolutely.
First, we got a $50 donation from Joe is Hardcore, and that is hardcore. And he just straight up says, Goldie wouldn't miss all these fish.
You're right, Joe. You're right.
He would
He's
not.
not wrong.
He would not.
Man,
No.
he's not wrong.
Boldy is just too genuine. We have $10 from Panzer Dave saying, Than hype, put this towards the Little Mermaid looping. And we also have a $20 donation from Tube SX saying, kick cancer's booty.
Awesome. Thank you so much for all the generous donation, guys. I can't talk. Thank you for all of the donations. That is time. That is the end of the last dad fight of the run.
I have no
Awesome.
match for you this
GG.
GG, guys.
time. Geralt.
Bye, Dad.
Well, just threw out my donation as promised, and this was a lot of fun, man. Like, thank you so much for having us, having Bill,
By my father's name.
just wanting to showcase Hades. It's been so much fun. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Any-
It's been
Did
a
anybody
pleasure.
have anybody they wanted to thank as well, or anything like that at all?
I've just want to shout out, first of all, the Hades speedrun community. It's absolutely wonderful. They are some of the most inviting people that I have ever met in video games in general. If you're interested in Hades speedrunning, hop into thespeedrun.com. Our Discord link is there. There are people who are there who are very happy to help you out. I want to give shout outs to Risk13 and Lat Millard, two people who I really contribute, my skill level to. And the entire Hades modding community, Museus, LMNOP, and all of our other modders. You guys are great. You make it so much easier to practice and play this game without having to deal with the bad RNG sometimes. So much love. And thank you to Chenergy and Ryan for joining me. Thank you, Streiser, and all of our organizers for having us today. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. All right, we're going to move on to a small little intermission while we get ready for our next runner. We will be moving on to Contra Hardcore. All right, nobody go anywhere. Thanks.